Hello, this is Akanksha Meena, Deputy Editor of Brand Print India. And today I am here with Santosh Nair, Associate Director of DCC Print Vision. How are you, Santosh?
Fine in the COVID times.
Okay. And what is happening at DCC? How are things happening at your end?
Well, at DCC things are quite, we have taken quite safe measures. I mean, to begin with, we went by the
Mhm.
norms, and but at the same time, when we were rethinking our strategies and when we were gradually when we saw the new COVID new normals coming into play, I mean,
Mm.
it became more and more clearer that where we should be going post COVID and what should be our new focus areas, what should be the new trends that would be seeing from our print service provider side of it. See, primarily we come from a textile core business,
Okay.
and eventually it happens that COVID has actually opened up a big term of sustainability, and it is driving this discussion towards fabrics and textile related products, and I
Okay.
think that's where we are quite excited that it is adding a new dimension, which previously before COVID it used to be a push, like we had to
Mhm.
push this kind of, but I think post COVID it will be definitely the need of the hour. So we really feel that we have a great chance of bringing a lot of new our expertise into the mainstream business of large format industry, which
Okay.
will be helpful for both the print service providers and the retailers.
Okay. So talking about retailers, can you give an overview of how the retail industry is affected by COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, see, to understand that, I think, for me, retail, if you go by it, has become a BC and an AC before Christ and after Christ, what was there? It's before COVID and after COVID.
Right.
It's going to be some kind of a differentiator in this particular thing. It is a disruption. I mean, if you look at it, COVID has become the next big disruption. And
Correct.
even though it's an unwanted disruption, but it is there. I mean, nature has given us that challenge. So see, what we have to understand is post COVID or during COVID, the consumer behavior has completely taken a 360 degree. See, retailers were primarily connected to the end consumer. So if you look at from a consumer behavior perspective, it has taken a completely different turn. I mean, they've gone from an impulsive buy to a very conservative buy. So that is a when it comes to the retail. I mean, if you look at it, goes on before COVID as well.
Yeah.
But the retail was, I mean, the retail stores were doing well. But the problem is the brick and mortar will now face a challenge from a perspective, especially if you look at it from a perspective that they have now, see, COVID has done a very, I mean, it has come out naturally,
Yeah.
that everything is now divided into an essential and non-essential.
Right.
So this sudden distinction of products from a consumer psyche perspective has completely kind of knocked out so many products or brands which were there up there in everybody's minds as a because see, when you talk about an online buying or a B2C buying, so it's a very emotional buy. Okay, now that emotional buy has now further got divided into not only those particular brands which were at a priority or in my top 10 has suddenly gone into 10, beyond 10 I would platform post COVID. There's no doubt on that. But the challenge, the biggest impact to retail is that how to drive that traffic to a store, because these 2.5, 3 months, a consumer has been sitting at home and still doing online business. I mean, he is now getting used to that, correct? And then there is the safety norms, there is a social distancing norm. All
Correct.
these things have kind of taken a toll, and really retailers, I don't think in the last 2 months or 2.5 months they have got cracked that code in terms of what is it that's the right formula.
Mm.
So people are still contemplating. I mean, if you look at in the last week of March, people were clueless. I mean, whether it was retailers or whether it was print service providers,
Yeah.
consumer was very consumer was very clear. Consumer was very clear that I'm not going to the malls,
Yeah.
I'm not going to the cinemas, I'm not going to the food restaurants. They were very clear, but and that was highly replicated. It was voiced out. There was surveys that happened within 48 hours, and it was clearly voiced out that 95% of the people said that it's a wait and watch. And it became a question of survival, because the way the business was projected, it was sort of a knockdown for all the businesses. So people were afraid of their employment stuff, the source of income, all these kind of brew in the mind of a consumer. And that actually has led to a situation where if before COVID I was planning to buy a watch, that today is like a no. I mean, it's not even there in my list anymore
Yeah.
because I don't need it. Look at the apparel industry. I mean, right now when we are talking, see the kind
Mm-hmm.
of culture that today Facebook declared that they are completely going at home, work from home. See, imagine if that kind of situations are coming. See the apparel industry where it goes. I mean, today, I just need this. I'm wearing a blue shirt and that's it. I'm presentable. I don't need beyond anything this. So, that is where the whole. So it has completely changed the dynamics. So for retail is really got impacted in a big way, and now I feel that a retail spend is going to be completely looked upon in a very different way. I mean, for me, if you ask me, the marketing would be the new sales tool. What I feel, because the KPI for a marketer is completely changing. It's no more the typical awareness model, or
Yes.
I'm creating awareness. No, it is not that. It's about retention. It's about how I can bring the consumer to my store, and at the same time I also ensure that my store costings are taken care of, or should I be. So their discussions are on a completely different level. I mean, if I when I was talking to a couple of big brands, the discussions internally is all about, how do we cope up with this new COVID challenge where they have to still maintain, like in a public side, if I close down a store, it means that the brand is gone free. I mean, it's gone.
Yeah.
So that is a big,
Okay.
big impression that would leave in the, like when, so that is a big challenge. But at the same time, if you have to sustain the store level, you have to completely relook at the way you're going to manage that store. So these are big impacts which retail has gone. And malls anyways, and see, one more thing you have to understand: in the last 5 7 8 years, retailers have all mushroomed into malls. I mean, that became the center point. That's around
Right.
where the entertainment came in, the
Right.
food courts came in, because that became the hub. Imagine every mall of the country is closed. I mean, it's now considered as the most unsafe area to enter post COVID, because that's where the whole challenge would come in. So unfortunately, the brick and mortar model will have these challenges, and how they are going to cope up is still a mystery, to be very honest.
Mm.
And I feel that that would be more critical for them, and to balance and to ensure that the marketing dollars are spent towards these aspects, because now the consumer is very emotionally challenged. I mean, we have to bring that safety and the emotional thing of a consumer to bring in. So what is it that you will do? So things are completely, yeah, it's in a different ball game altogether for the retailers. That's
Okay.
what I feel.
No, that definitely makes sense that the conventional methods of marketing, the conventional messaging will no longer be relevant in the post-pandemic world. People will not be able to relate to it at all, be it buyers or the sellers.
Anywhere, because see, consumer marketing is now going to be the key.
Yeah.
Okay, consumer marketing, but from a perspective, not from an awareness perspective. Now the consumer marketing will be from a perspective to identify what kind of customers we need to address. Be specific to that, because that's where it's going to bring the, see why this is very important is because today, from a social distancing perspective, even if the malls open tomorrow, you
Mm.
have to understand the biggest challenge a retailer is going to have is that he's not going to allow more than 5 to 10 people in a given space at a given point of time.
Definitely.
In a given point of time, if so, that means I'm allocating hourly basis consumers in my store, which
Mm.
previously used to be 100, now it would be 10. Now in that particular hour, if that 10 people don't buy anything, see the level of micro level to which you have to ensure that your staff is on an omni channel trained. They know how to go pre online and post online thing. Like they have to take the consumer through the journey of pre buying, and once the buying happens, if the customer is coming there, post buying, how they engage. So this omni channel presence is going to play a major role. So these were unthinkable before COVID. It was there. I mean, online was there. People were buying it to online model, but they were still, coming to the stores. I mean, there were certain, you know, there were certain so many, like if I had to buy a shirt, I would still look at online stuff, but
Yeah.
that look, even that experience of buying was always, I used to always want to go to that store. That probably may not happen today. So retailer is in a fix. They have to really, they are really concerned which way to tilt more. So online is definitely going to be the next big thing, but how to manage the retail traffic is going to be the key as well.
Okay, so it looks like that retail is in a store. A lot of changes are in store for the retail industry, but
Correct.
how can they leverage print to retain customers or to attract the customers, or how can they use print in their marketing strategies, or would they be able to use print at all?
Yeah, definitely. See, one thing, let me put it this way, when the COVID, when the closure happened,
Hmm.
uh, one big question mark was that, the out of home advertising will crash. Okay.
Yes.
That was, I mean, yes, people were sitting idle for a month, they didn't know because the brands had stopped calling. They said right now for next 6 months, we don't know, we are not going to spend on something like this. So what happened is in that there was a lot of traffic coming on the online space.
Yes.
Okay, now you have to understand it from a psyche of a consumer.
Hmm.
I'm bombarded from all sides so much of online stuff that my recall value is not there anymore. I don't recall anything that I had seen 5 minutes ago. If you look at your any social media page, it's there, and what is your engagement time? Your engagement time with that product line is that split second, and then it's gone. Correct,
Yes.
because you're in this. So that has further created a problem. Like online is the way to go, but then how I can have that recall value? Print is going to be that key. Okay, that is where the print will fall in play, because print is a medium, a static medium, which will always give you that recall value. So to be remaining out of that clutter,
Hmm.
print has to be there, and definitely print is going to be there. Now how much of that percentage of the print is going in the mainstream, and how much of that print is going in the innovation, is what we need to understand.
Okay.
See, point is today, if I'm looking at, so if you look at India, India, the biggest advantage for a printer in India is that, it's a rural economy. If you look at India, it's like still a rural dominated economy,
Yeah.
which means there are a lot of these outlets in the rural space where online is still not picked up in a way which is happening in cities. It is not the way, because here we are on the fiber mode and everything. There we are not in the fiber mode. The kind of reception that happens in these locations, if you go below town C, you will see, I mean, in B town, below B town, even in C towns, you will face these challenges. Okay, so print will play a major role. And the only aspect what I see is that from a printer perspective, he needs to now get more aligned with a brand manager, not from just a print awareness perspective, but he has to be innovative. He has to now sit with a brand manager and in a consultative mode, give him the options of how he can help him drive the traffic to his store.
Yeah.
That is now print importance. This is what a brand is looking at. So impactful signage will definitely be a big gamer, because that is where you're going to differentiate yourself. When I walk into a mall,
Hmm.
anything that is impactful, anything that is differentiated, I will be attracted to that. And secondly, you have to understand that what is it that is going to engage a person in the queue who's standing outside while he's entering. It may be that that brand may be not that big, that okay, I'll wait for 5 minutes, and if it is taking call, I'll walk away.
Yeah.
Unless it's like something a very a brand which is like the need of the hour. I cannot live without it. That's a separate story. Now,
Hmm.
in that time, what is it that is going to engage me with that store? It's the print. It's the print. So that print, in what form is going to be displayed, in
Hmm.
what new way it is going to attract me, is the key. So the conventional way of printing, typically a self-adhesive vinyl and giving it on a sunboard and everything, is not going to fly. I mean, that is good. It has a space. That is where it will go in the rural space, which has most of the prints that are going. Because if you see if you look at the cities and the metros, the thing is that everything is gone in the online space. There are a lot of sustainable pre-norms that are set. So your clutter of prints are coming down, by the way. It is only quality prints. Then so when you look at these kind of stuff, we feel that it's kind of, you need to look at new innovations, those innovations which are functional innovations. I mean, any print needs to be functional now. If you give any print that is, like for example, at DCC we are thinking of how we can give this personalized a wow factor to every store. What is
Okay.
it that we can bring that value of a personalization coming to a store that will drive the traffic towards it. So we are thinking like we are so we are looking at how we can increase the quality of the current uh, signages that are happening. And
Mm.
my understanding is that if you look at all the platforms which are there, I feel that what I have experienced is that sublimation happens to be a step higher when it comes to the color quality and the consistency and the vibrancy that comes in. So we feel that it's high time that when if you're getting into a particular niche space, the right platform needs to be given to a brand manager also. Because I'll tell you the why it is very important today is because in these COVID times, traveling is a huge challenge for a brand manager to locations. So he
Definitely,
needs
yes.
to have the right quality being sent at the stores, which is basically purely on the technology front and on the trust factor. And your consistency of print, whatever you see on your table, more than ever. Like in my entire career, I have been working with brands to kind of give them consistency in prints across the nation. When we launched Vodafone as a telecom brand, the challenge was how to emulate that red across the country. And we were successful in that. So we created that consistency. That has become now further more important in this era, because today a brand manager, what he sees a color on his in his office, he's just blind that what is being dispatched to those locations because he's not able to travel.
Right.
Okay, so which
Right.
further means that technology is now going to further play an important role in giving that consistency. So you have to select the right technology which will give you the right colors, plus an efficient technology, more importantly green solution. These are the stuff, because see, you have to understand the consumer also is now the new norms in every retail store is safety norms. Now when you talk about safety norms, you cannot have hazardous prints as part of it. So you need to look at recyclable methods, you have to look at recyclable technologies, you have to look at fabric as the most important stuff. Now in fabric, we have to take a call on where also at DCC we are like, we are just launching the fluorescent model in, so that's an innovation we are bringing. So we are now giving a higher gamut of colors, vibrancy. Operationally these prints are durable. That is the biggest challenge that every brand is facing today when it comes to fabric or soft signages. The biggest challenge what a soft signage is facing, that it may look good on the machine, but when it goes through operational issues of installation, there are scratches, there are all kind of stuff. Now that completely is eliminated by sublimation. So that's a value addition in terms of price that he is paying for that print. So these are the stuff which we are trying to bring on the table, and that's where I'm trying to give this new thought process to a brand and tell them that these are the new ways of looking at it. Like I'll tell you, the need of the hour in from a sustainability perspective would be, another aspect would be corrugation. I mean,
Okay.
corrugation is the subject which till date had not taken off. But I think now is the time when, with your labor completely migrated across, there is a big, huge labor issue which is there at every PSP level. So imagine the best way of doing that is how corrugation can come into play and create these knockdown kits that can be sent across. And it is like, in store itself, the people can just put it up. You don't need labor. So those are the kind of the innovations that we need to look at. And this is where I think a print service provider can meet his respective brands and be more consultative, think beyond the box, and think of how the mainstream business can be expanded. I mean, the next thing which I feel, which a PSP can really help is that,
Mm.
so look at from a retail perspective, the biggest thing, the biggest salesman of that retail store would be the window displays outside. I mean, the window dressing that we call, where, the window dressing is now going to play a very important role in terms of how it is, attracting that walking customer to come in. Now that's where I feel that if the signage industry start looking at new ways of designing stuff in which we give them vibrant prints or sustainable prints, or these kind of stuff, they have to really think out of the box. And this, when they do it, when those displays, because I think now if they have to really spend the money, they are going, brand as retailer is really going to look into these kind of micro aspects of marketing. which is directly addressing a consumer's psyche. That is what I feel like. When I'm walking to the mall today, I may not go into a luxurious store, but what if I see something which is attracting me? And so the retailer is also on the other side thinking, what is it that a wow factor I can bring on the table? What is it that I can create something which is like, how to put it, it's a compelling value that he is for me. Like, what is that compelling reason for me to walk into that store? Now, this the retailer has to understand, and the retailer in turn needs that support from our print service providers, who are the people who give
Mm.
them those kind of prints. So it's much more gelling that is more required. And I think here all the stakeholders who need to come together. Like, it's not just the printer, but even the print service provider, the technology providers, then the advertising agencies. They need to, the people who kind of give a lot of these ideas on the retail space and everything, they also need to think now that how they can bridge the print fraternity, and considering that online is still going to take over a lot of that business. And so from an online perspective, so we can we look at a model where even though I buy it online, but I can always go and pick it up in the store. Okay, that is something which I feel every retailer is going to look at. Now, so that's the best way to basically look at distancing. The social distancing is taken care of, because I'm not going to spend more time on that store. But when
Yeah.
I'm coming to that store, what is it that is attracting me to get into that store and buy something more? That becomes impulsive buy. So that impulsive buy with the customer experience to be in that store is going to be the key. And this is where, if we have to think smartly, like if you look in COVID times, what has come out as the next big thing is your floor graphics, is your cutouts, your all these stuff that has come. This was literally not even highlighted in the, the what you call before COVID. It was there. I mean, people used to talk about vinyl cut, what big deal. But today that has become the norm. Look at the floor vinyls. Look at the kind of social distancing. It's suddenly a new medium of advertisement has come in. Floor graphic was not prevalent in India because most of the brands don't like brands to be under the feet, as per the Indian stuff. But today, if you look at it, everywhere what I see is only floor graphics. I mean, people are giving their names along with the messages. So that's suddenly something new that has come. But that's exactly where a printer has helped, because to give that right feel, or because see, a cutout on a floor also needs to be aesthetically looking good.
Yes.
It cannot be just a cutout that is kept. So that is where we feel that so now when we are introducing the high end Suma cutting solutions, that is primarily why we are getting into that, because we feel that when the labor is a challenge, a printer should have a, an automation process which is less dependent, and it is more value for money in terms of the cuts and the shapes and everything in place. So that way, it becomes a holistic solution that a printer can give. Third important aspect is the time to market. Now the time to market is getting very critical. So if the printer becomes more agile, he's flexible, and he thinks faster and gives that solution to a brand, I think that is the mantra where a PSP can really fit into the retailer's need of the hour.
Okay.
That's what I.
No, that definitely makes sense. And what is DCC doing in regards to these upcoming trends or the changes that you say are going to come into place in the retail space?
So from that perspective, I think at DCC what we are doing is we are now trying to gear up to be more closer with the brands.
Mm.
And we have one of the best demo and the R&D centers in Asia, if not in the world, but definitely in Asia. We have one of the best R&D centers, and there we want to really open up the demo center and the R&D center for various brands who can come there and actually do their R&Ds and get what best can be taken, especially from the factor that we are in the UV space, we are in the sublimation space, we are in the cutting solution space, and we are also in the in the design space as well. Like when I talk about design, we are also internally having our own company that gives a lot of designing capabilities to printers, and which brands can also utilize. Then we are also creating a lot of such kits that will be a store puller, crowd puller for the stores. So which in due course we are going to kind of announce it in the market, which
Okay.
every brand can look at it from a perspective that how these kits and tools can be, utilized for creating a wow factor in their stores. So those kind of stuff. At the same time, we are also trying to open this up to the print service provider community and trying to give them a new revenue stream over here, because that is again the need of the hour. So when we talk of innovations, government has been very limited in their scope. They need to think beyond. So when we are trying to say think beyond, we are saying that what are the capabilities that we can look at, how we can introduce commercial decor in the retail space, which no one is using it today. Okay, so when you say commercial decor, it's all about how we can use fabric to the best of the advantage for a retailer, or for that matter, what can we do from a soft signage perspective, or how we can convert fabric as a mainstream, for that becomes a completely innovative model. So
Yes.
these are the kind of stuff on which we are working, and we really want to show the capabilities of technology and
Mhm.
what DCC has to offer to the brands and the PSPs in the country. And then probably we would like to take it. Yeah, the demo center is based in Bombay, and so we kind of did couple of demos for a couple of brands before, in my short time that I'm with DCC,
Mhm.
and it was a great leveler. I mean, I was really surprised to see the reactions that I got from these brands, and we actually did couple of new testings. We did couple of couple of billboards on sublimation,
Okay.
and that really went off well. I mean, it was really something which the brand said that they never expected that sublimation can do so well in terms of color richness,
Mm.
and especially when that happened to be like the first complete recyclable product, which we kind of showed, because sublimation is completely a green solution. There are no VOC contents in that. Plus, fabric is a locally purchased fabric, so the sourcing is also locally. So that eventually brings us to the topic of less dependency on the foreign countries. So
Right.
how we can actually have the textile product in place. So we did this entire exercise with a couple of outdoor companies, and when we did that, it it really clicked off. I mean, they were very impressed and they saw it live. Now that is where we are bringing value, and this is where I feel like if any PSP fraternity feels that they need to show some demos to a brand, and today that facility in India no one has it. I mean, they have it, but it's in a very nascent stage. Here we are actually showing a complete store with proof of concept. There are various concepts that we have made. We have made cafes inside. We have made a theme based. We have put our large format signages inside. Plus the machines are there, which is actually showing it live. And so this actually gives that experience of an end-to-end thing. We have a design team sitting there, so they actually show how a design is emulated from right from the conception to how it is emulated and how it is printed. So this was the necessity of the need of the hour, and I think post COVID that is going to increase more. So, and we are also now introducing sublimation in rigid. So that's again a big thing that we are bringing in. So the moment you see sublimation in rigid, it
Mhm.
has one of the most highest level of color depth and the richness and the durability which no other competition technology can give. So we are also introducing that, and we have already had some couple of. So we are introducing rigid on metals. We are introducing rigid sublimation on woods. So many stuff. So by doing this, we are introducing a parallel new alternative of technology, which is beneficial and impactful for both the printer and the brand. So this is what we are doing. Thank you.
So thank you so much for being here today, Santosh, and it was a pleasure speaking with you.